Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new here or you haven't already, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the thumbs up as you're listening today. It does help out the channel a lot. Also, join our Facebook group if you haven't. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. It's a really fun and positive atmosphere to learn in and connect with other resellers. Today we're going to talk about my schedule and my daily routines. I talk about this all the time, but I constantly get requests. This is one of the most requested videos for me to do right now. In fact, this morning when I opened up my emails, there were 2 more people saying, hey, can you go over your schedule again? And I am absolutely willing to do that. Let's step away from talking about sales and the race to the bottom and do something fun today and talk about how I schedule my time and how I do my routines and organize my day. I'm going to try to be succinct about this and just go through it as quickly as I can so that there's no frivolous talk and you guys can just kind of hear how I do my days. Okay. So most mornings are the same, Monday to Friday. I wake up around 7:30, and I lay in bed for about a half hour, waking up. I check my notifications that came in overnight. I send out any offers that I can on platforms. I post my motivational posts on Instagram, and I often will do some kind of participation post in my Facebook group. And once I've done all of that and I'm kind of feeling a little more awake, sometimes I'll lay in bed and read a chapter of the book I'm reading. But then I get out of bed and I make my half of the bed. Keith and I each make our own half. We are responsible for our own half. Every Saturday, we do strip the bed and put clean sheets on it. We have 2 sets of sheets, one purple, one black, and we strip it down, put the clean sheets on, and then that way by the next weekend, the other sheets are washed and ready to go. But he's still in bed when I get up because he doesn't wake up till about 8, and then he sits on his phone and does some work. He gets some listings ready and whatever while I take my shower. So I make my half of the bed. I do recommend everyone make your bed in the morning. It's part of Fly Lady's teaching. I do follow her. You're going to hear more about that. When your feet hit the floor in the morning and the first thing you do is make the bed, you're starting out the day by already checking something off your to-do list and accomplishing something. It feels great. I then take a shower, get ready for the day, get dressed. Then we do shipping. After shipping is done, I will check and see if there's any more offers I can send out. And I will push out 5 new listings on 5 platforms. I do have a draft bank ready at all times and the list perfectly catalog of listings that are built and ready to go. And I can bulk, crosspost, or push them out to eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Grilled, and Citizen. That wakes all the stores up in the morning, as well as doing those offers and the Posh Closet sharing. Then I go downstairs and I eat breakfast. And after breakfast, I delist and relist about 10 items a day. Keith does 20. And then that's where it gets a little bit different. So that's pretty much every morning in that order, same thing. On Mondays, I will then record my what sold video. I will get that edited, put up on YouTube, promote it out across all my platforms, and do a reel for Instagram. And then it's typically lunchtime by now. Sometimes I'll push out another 5 listings so that I'm doing 10. Keith does the majority of our listing. If you didn't know, he does like 30 to 50 a day. I stick to 5 or 10 because I have a lot of other stuff that I do. After lunch, I will check all my messages on all my platforms, check my email real quick, and then I spend the rest of Monday afternoon creating listings. Now, I don't make them live. I don't push them out. I don't put them anywhere. This is just me creating that draft bank. I will already have had pictures from the prior week just sitting in my List Perfectly catalog. I take all my pictures on my phone, right in List Perfectly using my templates. It sits in my List Perfectly, and then I can create the listings from there, and then they can sit there until I'm ready to push them out. And I do the 5 every morning and sometimes 5 in the afternoon. But I have that big draft bank, so I just work on it all Monday afternoon. And at 4:45-ish, 5 o'clock, I quit work for the day and I go do my 15 minutes of cleaning. That ties in with the Fly Lady thing I was mentioning. You should check her out, Fly Lady, FLYLADY. She has a system of organization and routines to help you create habits that are good and keep your house clean. We don't spend an entire day cleaning. We don't do any spring cleaning. We clean for 15 minutes a day and we follow her system to do that. So after work, I do 15 minutes of cleaning and then we go downstairs. We start dinner. We have dinner time. If you didn't watch my video on creating menus and doing a menu rotation, I do recommend watching that. And after dinner, Keith and I clean up the kitchen. And then in nice weather, we'll go for a walk together. We try to walk about an hour. When it's cold, I go walk on my treadmill for about a half hour to an hour. The nerve damage in my back actually does also affect my legs. Sometimes I get shooting pains or I get what I call dead leg, where one of my legs just disappears and I cannot feel it. I don't even have a leg. It's the weirdest sensation. So when I do walk, whether I go out for walks with Keith or on the treadmill, it's a half an hour to an hour. It's whatever my back and my legs can sustain that day. After I walk on the treadmill, then it is evening time. And this is sacred time for Keith and I. We love our work-life balance. We work to live. We do not live to work. We work to have the lifestyle that we want to have. And part of that lifestyle we like to have is our evening time. And what we do in the evenings, it really depends on our kind of mood. I have 3 basic things I like to do. I like to watch movies. I like to read books, and I like to play video games. I do like true crime. I listen to that while on the treadmill or while I'm working. I do also like crafts. I do like little dot paintings, and sometimes I'll do that in the evenings while I listen to true crime. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I play a video game. Sometimes I watch a movie. Sometimes I do a combination of the 3 or play video games with Keith. It just kind of depends on my mood. We do kind of reserve Friday for movie night and Saturday for gaming together. So Saturday we try to play video games together. So that's my Monday. Tuesday, same morning routine. And then in the afternoon, I am doing pictures. I don't record a what sold video, obviously, on Tuesdays. I've done that already on Monday. Tuesday, I have a video draft bank. So you guys, this is how organized I am. I actually have a ton of videos already edited with thumbnails ready to go on YouTube. I just have to push them out each day, except for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays, I record the what sold video. Wednesday, I usually record a haul video. We'll make it home from thrifting. And Fridays is my live show. So on Tuesdays, I digress. After lunch, I spend the afternoon taking just as many photos as I can for 4 hours. And it sounds tedious. It's not. I love it. I love sitting at my table, measuring and photographing just stacks and stacks of jeans. It's so methodical and pleasing for me. Or I'm working on Plush, and then I play with them and make videos with them, which is fun too. And I usually have a movie on. Nothing that, I haven't seen before, nothing that you need to pay lots of attention to, but not necessarily just background noise as I would put on Friends while I'm listing or whatever. Maybe a Disney movie or a horror movie. So it's not like it's a bad time. I mean, who gets to spend 4 hours watching movies while they take pictures? Just resellers, right? And then at quitting time, I spend 15 minutes cleaning. We do the dinner, we do the evening. So we have a pretty good routine. It's pretty repetitious. I don't necessarily recommend my schedule for people who get bored easily. I like to have calm, boring life with no excitement, with no, I don't know what's going to happen. I like to be a hermit. I don't like to leave the house very often, but that's us. So Wednesdays are different. Okay. So Wednesdays after shipping, after breakfast, we leave the house. We go to Salvation Army and thrift, and then we go to the grocery store, and we run any other errands while we're out. So this day we're out and about. We go to the post office if we need to. If we need to pick up anything from any other stores, any errands that we need to run, those are all done on Wednesdays. And when we get home, we get everything brought into the house and put away as far as groceries and stuff from the stores. The items that we thrift stay in the trunk, and Keith washes laundry throughout the week, except Wednesday. He just brings in enough for a load at a time from the trunk, washes and dries it, and we put it in boxes in the garage to work from. And so after all the groceries are put away, I do record a haul video. I save aside some of the laundry from Monday and Tuesday of items to show you guys usually. And then I push out my 5 for the day. And if I have time, I will have to do the YouTube video and promote it and then list. And Wednesdays, sometimes I'll create some extra drafts if I have time. And then it's quitting time, same evening routine. Thursday mornings, same morning routine, same, basically the same as Tuesdays, except I try to do some of my to-dos and projects. So I like to do another big session of photos on Thursdays, but I do have a list of to-dos and little projects and things that you don't typically get around to. And I'll try to get some of those done on Thursdays and then just work on pictures. And you guessed it, we're boring. I quit work. I would clean for 15 minutes. We make dinner. We clean the kitchen and we relax. Go for a walk and relax. Fridays are the one day of the week that's super different. So this is my filming day. So remember when I said I have a bunch of videos ready to go? So clearly I keep saying this is my video day. It's a Friday because I'm in front of the camera. So I get ready in the morning. We do the shipping. We do the breakfast. We do all the normal stuff we do. I do get my listings pushed out. I do take a minute to go around and promote my live show for the afternoon on all my social media. I'm also doing a listing party every week now at 3 p.m. Eastern on Listing Party, hosted by Liz Perfectly. It's called True Crime and Liz. It's pretty fun. So I promote those. And I did not tell you this. Sorry. On Wednesdays, I typically create my thumbnail and my idea topic for my live show on Friday, and I'll create my notes for it and save them aside. That way, the live show is already on my YouTube channel, and everyone can see that it's upcoming. The thumbnail's done. Everything's done. I have my notes done. I don't have to worry about that on Friday. I do have a whole entire list of ideas for videos. I take requests. People say, you should do a video on this in the comments. They email me. They send me messages. I write them all down. And I have a list in my bullet journal of video ideas. And when I have ideas, I write them down in there as well. If I'm downstairs or an idea hits me when I'm in the middle of cooking dinner or at the thrift store, because sometimes I get ideas for videos at really weird times, I just actually have like a running notepad on my phone that I put them on, and then I transfer them to the bullet journal. So I can pick from there. On Wednesdays, I pick something, and get the live show stuff ready. And then I'll make like a tiny little list on my Friday. And what I'm going to record that Friday. Bought some plushies this morning. Okay, so Fridays. Normal morning routine, promote my live show, and then I sit and film. And I change my shirts in between each video. I should just record all the videos every week in the same shirt, because I don't think it's a secret by now that I do all my recordings in one day. I think everyone knows that I sit here every Friday and record all my videos, except for the What Sold videos, you guys. Those are recorded fresh every Monday. The reason they're only screen shares and you never see my face is because I don't put makeup on Mondays. It's my one day to look hideously like a troll. And Wednesdays I do record the haul video when I get home. But every other video you see is pre-recorded. I do change my shirt, so it looks like it's a new day. It's just habit now. I like to have a new shirt on in every video. So then after I record my videos, I only do like 3 or 4. I like to have a good solid amount of videos ready to go. But since I go live on Friday and I do the Monday and Wednesday recordings, I really only need 3 extra videos a week, 4 if I'm going to put one out on Sunday, which I don't do often. Sometimes I record more, sometimes I record less. And those days when record less, I've got extra saved up, right? It's kind of like the draft banks. The days that life happens and things happen and you can't get to listing or get to photos, if you have extra photos and extra stuff on hand, listings ready to go, you're good. After I record, I do record 2 short reels that I'm going to put out on Instagram later. One is to let everyone know, hey, in a half an hour, I'll be doing my List Perfectly show, listing party, and then the live show. I get those recorded. Once all the recordings are done for the day, I go downstairs, I eat lunch, I come up here, I list. And by that, I go into my drafts that I already have saved and I push them out. I do a little extra on Friday, maybe 10, 15. Then when the List Perfectly, they have a live show every Friday I like to watch and attend. I watch that and I create extra drafts. So it's kind of like a repeat of what I did Monday, except that I'm listening to the List Perfectly live show at the same time and having fun and kind of going back and forth in between the tabs and talking with people. And then after that, it's pretty much time for my listing party, True Crime and List. I get a half an hour after that before my live show on YouTube. And that lasts until 5:30, at which time, before I shut everything down and leave my office, I go ahead and order our dinner. We decide ahead of time. Actually, we take turns. So we're very democratic in this house. You know how most couples are like, I don't know, what do you want to eat? I don't know, what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't care. Well, if you don't care, let's go here. Well, I don't want that. Does that sound familiar, that conversation? I don't know, what do you want to eat? Yeah, I think everyone goes through that. So about 2, 3, 4 years ago, I got tired of having that conversation. And I said to Keith, we're gonna start trading off. So it's fair. So when it's his turn to pick, that's what we eat. And when it's my turn to pick, that's what we eat. And we take turns every other Friday. We kind of like all the same things, so it's not a big deal. So I mentioned we're reclusive and hermits, right? So probably 95% of the time we only eat out on Fridays. That is our eat out night. We do like to budget and not be frivolous with our money. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. So we typically try to keep our eating out down to 1 night a week. Sometimes we'll do extra if there's special occasions. Or for instance, like last Saturday, I had a blasting migraine. I just did not feel good. And so we just ordered pizza. But we 95% of the time order in, and I would say 4% of the time we call ahead to places we enjoy food from and go pick it up and bring it home. And then maybe 1% or 2% of the time we'll actually go out to eat, and that's very rare. We go to Purgatory once a month or so. We don't really go out to eat that often. It's usually order in or run and pick it up. So after my live show, I call the food in or order it, and then I shut everything down and leave. I don't clean on Fridays. Fridays and Sundays are my days off from cleaning. You should have 2 days a week where you're not cleaning, I think. So I don't clean on Friday. We just eat dinner, and then we watch a movie together. Every Friday after dinner, we always watch a movie together. And then usually he plays WoW with Jamie Pace, if you know him, on Fridays. And I'll watch movies and just relax on the couch. Saturday, almost through. I told you I was going to try to be succinct, but I get off topic. And I love to talk about planning and schedules. Saturday morning, I do let myself sleep in until about 8 or 9. Depending on how late I was up on Friday. I don't want to mess my schedule up too bad. You guys know for years I suffered and struggled with insomnia, and I used to be on like a second shift schedule, and I used to sleep till 10 or 11, and then I'd had trouble sleeping at night. Ever since we moved back to Pennsylvania, I've been at so much peace and just happy that I've been sleeping at night pretty well. I mean, sometimes it's a struggle because I usually lay down around 11:30 to 12:30, somewhere in there, because I only really need 6-7 hours of sleep. And some nights I'm out, and some nights I have to lay there and read for an hour or two. Sometimes I fall asleep right away and wake up at weird times, like 3 or 4. So it's still there. It hasn't gone away, but it's not as much of a struggle bus. And I'm sleeping a little bit better. And I'm actually, waking up on my own now at 7:30 without an alarm. And I really like my new schedule, and I like how this is going. So I don't let myself sleep in too much on Saturdays, because then you just screw up your whole schedule and your sleep pattern at night, right? So I do set my alarm for 8 or 9. Same routine though. I make the bed, take a shower, get ready for the day. Keith and I do a special breakfast every Saturday morning. So this is the only time I actually cook breakfast. I said during the week we go out and eat breakfast after shipping. That's everybody's on their own. I usually do a banana and a yogurt or an oatmeal. Keith does whatever he wants. But on Saturday mornings at special time, we do eat muffins or banana bread or something special, egg sandwich. But if we have a muffin, I do cook eggs, like omelets or scrambled eggs. Sometimes we have breakfast burritos. And after breakfast, I come up and walk on the treadmill, because I didn't walk on a Friday night. So Friday nights, I take off from cleaning and treadmill and walking and everything. Friday nights is just for relaxing. I don't cook. We, order in. I don't clean. I don't do the treadmill. I just relax. You got to have a day to do that. So on Saturday after breakfast, I will come up here and walk on the treadmill. Unless the weather's nice, Keith and I will go outside and walk. And then after that, I do my 15 minutes of cleaning. I usually say I take Saturdays off, but liar. I work a little bit on Saturdays. I do like to come in and relist like 10 items and push 5 of my drafts out just to keep the stores active. I like to check to see if there's offers to send. I'll share the Posh Closet once or twice. And I have started a newsletter to our email subscribers. I haven't been very good about it. It was my new thing I was going to do in 2023, and I think I did one Saturday where I came in here and did it. And last week I didn't. But to be fair, last Saturday was the day I had the really bad migraine. I mean, it was one of those migraines where there's like the spots and the black tunnel vision, and you feel nauseated and you can't eat and you just want to die, and there's like rocks rolling around in your head. It's the worst one I've had since Florida. I haven't had a migraine like that in a very long time, that bad. So to be fair, but no, there is a newsletter. I'm trying to do, all the things that happen in reselling and what I talked about on my channel for our email subscribers. You can sign up to be in our email list at flippinhipposhelp.com if you want to be a part of it. I send out maybe 3 a week with what I think are important videos I put out, and then the newsletter. So Saturdays, I do a little bit of work. Sometimes there's stuff we didn't get to through the week that we will have to deal with. Like you see that eBay bag back there? That's inventory I can't point. That's inventory that's been photographed. It needs to be taken down to the garage and put away in our inventory system in the bins. So we'll deal with that on Saturday. Any inventory that needs to go down to the garage will go. Couple listings. Sometimes I have a lot of new tags or Plush I got to steam. But I'm usually done with my half day of work and my treadmill and my cleaning and everything by like noon or 1. And then I have lunch, and then I just relax for the rest of the day. We don't do too much on Saturdays. I do cook. It's usually leftovers or frozen pizza, so no big deal. In my menu planning video I mentioned, I talked about how we buy like just frozen cheese pizzas, or like the ones you can make your own. You do the crust and the sauce, and then we add all of our own seasonings and toppings and cheese. They're good. And then Sundays, we're up early, 7:30. We're ready to go out the door by 9:45. We go to 2 or 3 Goodwills and get a whole bunch of items. We thrift. We're usually done by noon, sometimes 1 o'clock, depending on if we go to sometimes we go to 4. It just depends on how much stuff we find and how full our trunk is. If I found a whole lot of stuff the Wednesday prior at Salvation Army, we'll just go to 2 Goodwills and just go until the trunk is full. If I didn't find a lot at Salvation Army, then we'll go to 3 or 4. But when we're done with that, we go to Keith's grandparents, and that's it. I mean, we just sit there and relax. We're all at the table. His aunt comes, his uncle comes, his grandparents, and that's just our day with them. Sometimes it's just us and the grandparents. But We talk about everything that happened that week. We just totally catch up. Sometimes she needs help straightening up or cleaning things, which I'll help her with. And then at some point we start talking about what we're going to do for dinner. And we typically order in or buy stuff. So I shouldn't say we only eat out once a week. We do eat out twice a week. But you know how grandparents are and parents, they don't ever let you pay for anything. Keith's grandparents raised him. They're like his parents to him. Most of you know that. That is why when his grandfather had to have the surgery and we knew they were going to need help, that was the biggest factor in us moving back here because his family needed him and we just love his grandparents to death. You see the little Christmas card back here by Yoda? That's the one his grandparents gave me. And it's like almost February and I still want to keep my Christmas card out because they're just so sweet. So yeah, we do order in over there. Sometimes I'll cook and bring it. Once in a while she'll cook, but she's in a wheelchair, so it's difficult for her. And we try to stay a couple hours after dinner. Sometimes him and his grandfather will go do something and me and her will watch the Game Show Network together on Family Feud and try to guess. It's fun. We usually get home from that pretty late, so then it's time to wash my makeup off and just chill for the night. I don't walk on the treadmill on Sundays, so I take off cleaning and treadmill Friday and Sunday, but that's my schedule. I know I'm so long-winded. I apologize. I thought I was just going to get on here and be like, I do this, 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 and this, but then I have to explain to you why I do this, this, and this. But hopefully this helps. When I do get the requests from people asking, can you talk about your schedule again? Can you talk about how you do your listings or your photos? Typically it's because people say that hearing what other people do helps, and it does. When I'm stuck and I can't find time to do something or I can't figure out how to do something, if I talk to another reseller and say, what's your method for this? What's your process for this? Sometimes you're like, oh, that makes sense. I should do it that way, right? I really am a firm believer in the batch work. I like to do all my photos one day, all my drafts one day. And I like to do the same thing in the same order of the routines. I like to have extra of everything because you never know what's going to happen in life. I like to have certain days of the week I do certain things. I'm a very, very structured A personality person. I am diagnosed OCD and anxiety, and these are all things that I do that help me cope and help me function as a human being and a successful person. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. Go be productive. Go create a schedule that works for you. I'll see you next time. Bye.